Justin, okay, I've got your work up here. I'd like to see a little bit more detail in describing your process here. I think, yeah, if you follow the lead of some of your classmates, you'll see some of them really got into some detail, and that really helps me a lot because it helps me determine how effectively you're learning. So always remember it's a great idea to include a written rationale with all of your assignments, not only for this class, but for all classes. We instructors learn quite a bit about the effectiveness of your learning process based on your writing. A lot of times, just as much as we learn from your actual work itself. So I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more detail here. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. I've got the banner ad up here. Now, basically what you're saying is you use the same approach as the magazine ad. Right, but that's smart. One thing I want to reinforce here is this, is that right now the biggest issue I'm seeing here is that a lot of your elements are distorted. Um, this subhead looks like it's distorted. This body copy here is definitely distorted. The type for the address is definitely distorted, and the logo is distorted. Now, the reason this happened is this. When you placed the type from your magazine ad to your banner ad, you actually had let me start by saying this. In the real world, the best thing to do would be to assemble your type right here in the banner ad, as opposed to copying and pasting. Now, you can copy and paste the type. What I'm saying is that you can copy and paste, but if you're going to resize any element if you copy and paste, you have to make sure that it doesn't get distorted. So, for example, if you place the logo, once you place it, if you want to resize it, right, you click the logo and you get the four handles around the corners. That's the bounding box. You hold your mouse key down and you move this right to resize. But you have to hold your shift key down. It's really important to hold your shift key down whenever you're doing any kind of resizing. And that's going to constrain the original aspect ratio, the original proportions of these design elements, type and logo. So that's really important. And that's something we'll be looking for in your final submission. So I definitely want to see that being addressed here. Let me show you an example of the logo. Here's the logo you're using right here. So as you can see, let's take a look at how short and fat the logo mark is here, and then compare it to this long and thin, right? And you can totally see the difference in that regard. So that's definitely been distorted. Okay, the next thing I want to mention is that I don't see the masked image. Remember, the masked image from assignment 2-1 is required here. So we're going to have to include that. Now, I would like to see these changes reflected in your final submission, and that's due coming up next week during week 7. So it's really super important that you get on that quickly. And if you want to resubmit here, and I can take a look at it. Also, in the announcements area, I had requested that all students post their magazine ad along with their banner ad in this assignment so that we can check adaptation. But I see that yours wasn't submitted, the magazine ad, so I can't comment on adaptation. Okay. All right. So those are my comments, and as I said, I'd love to see those comments being addressed in your final submission. Feel free to submit to me for one final checkpoint before you submit your final work. But I definitely want to see those changes reflected. Okay, great. Thank you very much.